I speak around the world, so TED Talk should not be scary. It was quite scary for me, mainly because you've got to limit your thing to 8 minutes or 11 minutes, however many minutes it was. I don't remember, 11 minutes or something. And there's no script, and there's no they rehearse for a really long time. I'm not that person. I'm ad lib, and I just go follow my heart. So little scary, especially when I told him I'm not going to rehearse. And then I'm 59. It was when I was in the height of menopause. It's a taboo topic, menopause, but it is so true. So we need to talk about it. And I was taking some hormone pills to balance my hormones, but it makes your mouth really dry. So I stopped taking the medicine for like a week so that my mouth wouldn't be dry. I get on the stage, and you're standing in a red circle. And of course I have no notes, and I just have a timer, which is good. Standing in this circle, no water. You're not allowed water on the stage. And my whole thing was around breaking the rules. I get up there for the first 6-7 minutes, I'm talking about breaking the rules. And then my tongue got stuck to the roof of my mouth. It was just stuck. My mouth was so dry. The hormones were kicking in. And so I look at the audience, and I was thinking, I have to say this is a menopause moment, but I thought, oh my God, they're going to pull me off the stage. So instead I say, well, I'm about to break one of the biggest TED rules in history. I don't even think this has ever been done, but I really need some water. And so I walk off the stage, I get some water, I come back, and I'm like, now that's called breaking the rules. It was pretty funny. So it was a little intimidating, I have to say, but I'm happy I did it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I did a TED Talk once as well, and it's interesting what you say about the preparation, because one of the crazy things that I found out was that I only had 6 weeks to prepare for my talk. And did you have a long time, or was it quite a
I didn't
short time?
prepare. I had 6 weeks, but who has 6 weeks,
Yeah,
and you keep having to go through it. And I just did not have that bandwidth.
yeah.
So I didn't have that anxiety, but I probably had the anxiety that I didn't do the 6-week preparation,
Mm,
even
mm.
though I'm better not preparing. But you think you're supposed to prepare for the whole 6 weeks they give you or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, what did you write anything down, or did you completely free flow and freestyle the topics?
I think I gave them like 3 charts or something. I think it was like 3 charts. It was nothing. What was your talk on?
It was about so the talk's meant to be 18 minutes maximum, and my talk
18.
18 minutes. My talk was about rewiring the brain through learning difficulties, because I have dyspraxia, which is a motor coordination delay. And funnily enough, I'm doing music and motorsport, which are two heavily coordinated things.
Wow.
Um, it was fascinating, and actually it was in Luxembourg in the Philharmonic Hall. So when I found out it was going to be in this Philharmonic place, I was like, I mean, can I do a sort of music performance around it, to because it's one thing talking about how can music help you, blah blah blah, but then to really actually put into practice what I'd been saying. And so they allowed me to do a performance, but of course that meant having to cut down even more of the speech prior to that. And it was very as you say, you're a public speaker, you're used to stages and audiences, but I don't think much can prepare you, because to a stage like that.
That's
And
amazing.
it was
What did you do? Did you compose as
uh,
a, what
so
did you
what
do?
what I did was I bought my machine drum set, electronic drum set, and I had a song that I had composed. I have to send it to you. Is a very calming sort of meditational. It had all these amazing Indian instruments, like the
Oh,
flute.
I would love that. We have a dinner in India coming up.
Oh wow, that's
We need
amazing.
to tie you into that. That'd be amazing.
For sure, that sounds incredible. I'm very inspired by like the Indian instruments. So I use this ney instrument, and then
Guitar.
I absolutely love the sitar as well. So just really mystical and very calming and transcendent instruments, but then backed by a very hypnotic electronic beat. And so yeah, it was so I was more nervous performing the music, actually, which actually is a surprise, because I DJ everywhere. It's just not it's that you do get slightly nervous for performances because we're all human, but you know, TED
This
stage
was
is
also a new compilation for you.
exactly, and it was just all, you know, and I think because it was in Philharmonic Hall, I think that added to the whole level of pressure. But something that I'd sort of read prior to, you know, doing the prep for this talk was like TED speakers practice for every 1 minute of speech they practice that 1 minute for an hour, and I was like, this is, I don't have, you know, 18 hours to practice. I haven't even written the thing. But anyway, it all worked out fine in the end. And
I
once you
can't
get,
wait to watch it.
definitely, I think once you get into that flow, that's it. You just have to get into that flow state. That's the most important thing. And like you said, if you need water, break the rules. I mean, that's crazy.
I
You
don't know
know
why
that.
they don't have, but see, this is another perception reality. Like, whoever said you can't have water on the stage, but no
Yeah.
speaker ever has. So I think we look at the predecessor and just assume, like, I think maybe that's, I never thought about that. Perception is assumption because it's what was done before. You just look at who was there and what they did. So then you just perpetuate that. And that's how you perpetuate sameness, because you look at what was done before and you just copy it because that's what you're supposed to do.
It's really interesting that you say that, because I actually had the guy who coordinated the TEDx in Luxembourg. He's actually a public speaking coach, funnily enough. And one of the key things that he said on my podcast was that being a communications coach is that literally perception is reality, is forms our reality, but it's not
True.
the truth. And you've just enhanced that by saying perception is based on assumption, and it's just so it's completely true. We wouldn't.
Perception is based on assumption and based on what your predecessor did. Because you have there, wow, all this comes to life. Walk in their shoes. You need to walk in their shoes. Well, I always say, I don't want to walk in the man's shoe ahead of me. A, the shoes are ugly. B, I'm way happier in high heels. It's at some point you need to break protocol. Now that's where troublemaker comes in. Break protocol. If you want to create something new, you can't do the same thing. You've got to break protocol.
100%.
If you walk in someone else's shoes, you're going to walk the way they did it, right? So I think that's where all these things now come from, right?
And you can't ever really walk in someone else's shoes anyway. I mean,
No, authentically and consistently, no.
Yeah, exactly. Light bulb, some light bulb moments here.
Philosophical.
We do like to get a bit deep on this show. Listen to more insights on the Mission Makers podcast through Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.